Coach in WNBA history, three-time Coach of the Year, Mike Thibault, Coach of the Washington Mystics. Coach Thibault, how do you become a successful women basketball coach after spending more than 20 years in the men basketball?
Well, I think the first thing you do is treat it the same. I think the very first team I coached in Connecticut when I started coaching women is I told them I'm going to coach them just like I coach men. Shouldn't be much different. Some of the athleticism is a little bit different, but I think you should coach the WNBA the way you would coach the NBA. Treat them with the same respect, the same willingness to learn, and I think that, and then be honest with them every day. I think one of the things that most players would tell you is that I tell the truth to them every day. Sometimes they might not want to hear it, but I tell the truth, and I think that that's good for trust and respect both ways.
And how and why did you become a coach in the WNBA?
It's kind of interesting. I had been debating, I had been an assistant for a long time. I had friends that coached in the WNBA that told me I would enjoy it. I wanted to be a head coach again, and probably knew that my chances of being a head coach in the NBA would only be because a friend or somebody got fired and I took over. And that's not the way I wanted to get an NBA head coaching job. And I said, well, I'll try it for a couple years. And I ended up loving it. So, now 13 years later, I'm still doing it. And I get up every day happy to go to work.
And for example, do you think you'd be able to go back to the men's
at some point if I want to, but I'm not sure I'll ever do it.
Okay.
I'm enjoying what I do. And my rule is if you get up every day looking forward to going to work, then that's what you should keep doing.
And so, well, you said you treat it the same way, but in a way, there is difference in terms of physicality, in terms of size. Sometimes, is it tough when you work, with guys who can dunk all the time to
it's different.
Coach?
You don't run the same plays necessarily. I'm not throwing a lot of lob passes for dunks. Guys have the advantage that they can get trapped in the corner and use their athletic ability to jump and make a play that maybe a lot of women players can't. But the women players, I think, appreciate being coached. Their fundamentals are good, and it's kind of fun to be able to put a game plan out there, and they follow it, and they enjoy it, and they're very unselfish. And so it's been great. And
you said you always tell the truth to the players. We see you, during games, extremely passionate, jumping, screaming, sometimes yelling at the players. After the years and years, you still have the same passion. What keeps you the same drive?
I just love the game. To be in the gym teaching the game. Most coaches, more than anything else, are teachers first. And if you love teaching the game every day and watching a player individually get better or a team get better, then I think that coaching is fun every day. And so that's my biggest thing is it's the games are fun. The practice can be just as fun, just watching a team get better, and that's part of what drives me.
Yeah, and so not a lot of people know it, but you were with the Chicago Bulls back in '84. How instrumental are you in bringing Michael Jordan to the Bulls? Do they owe you everything?
Oh, I don't know about owing me everything. I was in charge of the draft, and Rod Thorne was the general manager, and it was our decision, the two of us, who we drafted. And a lot of people think, well, that's not really a hard decision, but we had owners that wanted us to move up and take Sam Bowie, so we had to convince them that we didn't want to do that. We liked Michael Jordan good enough all by himself. So, for me, it wasn't a hard choice, but I was very lucky too that, Dean Smith at that time allowed us to come in and watch a lot of practices, and you got to see Michael do things that maybe he didn't do in games, and that gave us a huge advantage. We saw him be a complete player in college practices.
And after that, you were in and out of the league for quite a long time, coaching minor league in Canada, being an assistant, a scout, etc., etc. Tell us about your journey and what you learned, with all these different experiences.
And what I've learned that coaching is coaching, kind of what you said before. Whether it's men, women, whether it's the NBA or high school, it's still teaching. I love to compete. I don't like losing. But I love teaching just as much, and so it beats working and it beats not working. I get to get up and go do what I love best as my job, and not everybody can say that. So I'm very fortunate. I think I've learned that I'm very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing. And the last part of it is in the basketball world, you meet so many great people, and I've traveled and I've seen a lot of places, whether it's been with the Olympic team or the men's national team. I've gotten a chance to go a lot of countries and see a lot of different people, and so I've made friends all over the world, and I think that's a great part of the game.
And one last question, even though you've been perhaps the most successful coach in WNBA history, you still haven't won the title, been to the finals. Is that for now the biggest regret of your career and what you're working towards every day?
I can't say it's a regret. I mean, we've been to the finals. Somebody made a better shot or we missed a shot. Those things happen. But it's on my to-do list to finish off. Winning a championship would be special. Just for all the work you put in. I mean, when you start every season, your goal is to be the last one standing at the end of the year. And we've been close. We've been the next to last standing a couple times. So now, hopefully, it'll end up being our turn.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Coach.